In Treasure Island, Robbie Louis Stevenson's famous book about pirates, there is one character known as the Black Spot. But I'm not going to talk too much about that book. I do recommend it for everyone to read and reread. Audio books, etc. It is a wonderful story time. I can't help it. It seems that my story time for boys and girls is interfering with someone's nap time. That's one way to take the wind out of my sails. I'm so excited I've got a story to tell. And then someone says, "Shut your fat mouth." Why does it happen? I'm too loud. Why does it happen? Mostly because it's a constant refrain. Shut your fat mouth. Shut your fat mouth. Shut your fat mouth. Where do these people come from? What makes them say this? It's their nap time. They need to have a nap. The point of the matter is, it's about shut your fat mouth. Shut your fat mouth. What is the underlying emotion behind shut your fat mouth? You're unimportant. You are unimportant to me. Who gives a flying fuck about what you have to say? That is the underlying emotion. Does that sound like love to you? I don't even have to shake my head. Everyone knows that does not sound like love. Anyways, we're talking about the black spot. And what is the black spot when it comes to people that are saying, shut your fat fucking mouth? I don't want to hear what you have to say. I don't care what you have to say, and I wish you would go away and drop dead. The black spot is the mark left on someone's heart when they hear someone say, shut your fat fucking mouth. Black spot. How many black spots have you got on your own heart from having people telling you nasty things and meaning it? Black spots on your heart. It's difficult to remove black spots from your heart. Why do you get a black spot? Because it's a spot that's unloved in your heart. Some people get bulletproof to insults from others because it's a tough world, and after countless encounters with uncaring people that care more about stupid than they care about it's hard to believe the depth of the nasty. So we all walk around with black spots on our heart. some nice flowers. Do you think these flowers are telling you, shut your fat fucking mouth? I don't give a rat's ass what you say. You're fucking worthless. How about these flowers? And this bee here. Is that what they're saying to you? Are they saying the same thing? Let's be nasty. Is that what these flowers are saying? How about these ones? Is that what they're saying to you? You're worthless. Drop dead. This is what humans say. This is what humans say all the time. It's really horrible. It's so horrible. It's interesting because the talk was going to be about if you have a major problem with someone and the other person is not available, they're not available to you, and you've got stuff between you, and both of you are looking at each other, if you were both in the same room, and you'd look at each other and say, shut your fat fucking mouth, drop dead, I hate you. Well, both of you are carrying around a lot of black spots that are related to this constant refrain going on in your minds and your bodies. I hate you. I wish you didn't exist. So, one possible thing you can do, if you can't sit down with this other person, and you don't want to get in the same room as them, you don't even want to see them again, but the thoughts about them keep festering in your mind. What you would do in this is get a big tapestry, a great big tapestry. In other words, a woven fabric that's got pattern in it, a tapestry, and then lay it down on the sand in the Sahara Desert, and then install a nice canopy tent over top. Bring in some nice tall wicker chairs, a coffee table, and a tea service. You can bring in some potted palm trees. And then what you are to do is to have two of the chairs sort of set together, not facing one another, but maybe both just tilted towards each other a little bit, so that two people could sit there and look at the view of the desert. But they'd be a nice, comfortable place, covered from the hot sun, and they could enjoy tea together. Who are the two people going to be? It's going to be you and your enemy. You and your enemy. And this is all going to be done not live in Casablanca in the Sahara Desert. This is going to be in your imagination. In your imagination, all of these things, you get to put them in your mind. It's you and your enemy, and you're both not looking at each other. You're both just tilted a little bit towards each other, but basically both looking out at the desert where the tea service is there, and some attendant will come in. You don't have to pour tea for the other person. You don't have to ask the person anything about, what would they like. You're not there to be their servant. There will be an attendant that will serve you, and if you don't want your attendant to be contaminated by the other person, you can have a second attendant for the other person to pour them tea. And you basically will be looking out at the Sahara Desert. Maybe there's some camels going by, a caravan of camels, and they might have some big packs on the back. And you might say to your enemy, I wonder what they've got in the packs on the back of those camels. And then you have a sip of tea. And then the other person might say, this is quite a desert. I always imagined around a desert there'd be an oasis. And this is how the tea goes. You're having tea with your enemy. You're talking about things that are not about the other person. And they're not about the problems you have between each other. What is the point of this? Someone got the right answer. It's to restore your humanity. The whole purposes of this imagination exercise is to restore your humanity. It's a big step to take this information and just do it. This is a imagination exercise described by the metaphysical writer Stuart Wilde, who said it came from his old teacher. And he called this exercise having tea with Hitler. In the end, will the black spots that you have on your heart from this other people heal or mend? Will this other people heal their black spots from what they've heard from you? Restoring your humanity means letting go. Letting go, letting go, letting go, and being in the moment, looking at the beautiful flower, looking at the beautiful flower. The other point is, if you're thinking about this enemy of yours, well, what's happening really? You are creating up a psychic disturbance because you're thinking in your head, I hate this person, and you're dragging up all the memories of why you hate this person. And they're going to feel it because this is a form of psychic attack. If you are putting out, I hate this other person, hate is a strong emotion and it's going to create a psychic attack. Who is it going to attack? It's going to attack. It's a Tasmanian devil from Looney Tunes. Who does the Tasmanian devil attack? It's a madness. All it knows is attack. Is it going to hit your child? Is it going to bounce back and hit you? Is it going to find the person you hate? Is it going to find the person you hate's sister? This is what happens. Whatever this hate is, because you send out a hate attack doesn't mean it's going to go and hit the person you hate. Other people, nothing to do with your hatred, are going to get sideswiped by it. And they're not going to know whose hate this is. Most people think that disease comes about from poor genetics and toxins in the environment. This is a toxin in the environment. This is a toxin in the environment, but it's not mercury amalgam in your fillings, and it's not mercury thimerosal in your vaccines, and it's not GMO food, and it's not chemtrails. This is human hate. It can be said that you going through this imagination exercise with your enemy is never going to heal the hurt you feel that you've experienced from this other person. What it does is it restores your humanity. How? Because you are having something in common with this person you hate. You're looking at the camels. You're having tea in the same tent. You're having a shared experience. Where does it go from there? Take this step. Do this mental exercise. Where it goes from there, it can't be said. But this is what you need. It's not for the other person, because you're not bringing the other person, flying Air Emirates to go to Saudi Arabia to be in the desert. You're doing it in your imagination. Who's going to be healed by this? Your hate is going to be healed by this. All of it? Yes. All of it. Because you're getting a new thing. Whatever the old hates and pains and aches are, you've got a new thing that's got nothing to do with hatred towards your enemy. If everyone keeps all of their hates, we're going to have more and more horrible, horrible things happening on this planet. And everyone points the blame at it was some madness that some psycho shooter, shot up 25 people. It was that crazy person. No, it wasn't. It was a psychic attack. And the psychic attack might have originated with you. Because you haven't dealt with your loss of humanity. So, next time you hear about one of these horrible, 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 horribles, are you going to say, I heard about this technique, about having tea in the Sahara with the people that I hate, and I didn't do it. It's my fault. It's my fault that this horrible, horrible happened because I was holding on to my hate. And I lost my humanity. I knew it, and I refused to take the responsible action of rebuilding my humanity. That's the news from Georgia. I'm Kent Brockman. Tune in next week to The Simpsons when we're going to talk to Sideshow Bob about his massive hatred towards Bart Simpson and vice versa. And we'll see whether the two of them did this imagination exercise. Tea in the Sahara with Sideshow Bob and Bart Simpson.